For many years, we have defined truth from a partial perspective. So if I say, what is truth? You say spiritual reality. And spiritual reality is half of what we call truth. It is first, actually, the principles of the kingdom. Then on the other side, it is the experiences or the realities of the kingdom. The fulfillment of the promises of God to his people are built on eternal principles. And what God has done is to domesticate those principles in the word.
This is Burning Coals with Apostle Tolu Agboola.
But the Lord began to show me that there are principles that the one who wants to apprehend and sustain must follow. I want you for the rest of the year to hunt for principles in this world. Because for many years, especially in the apostolic community, we have defined truth from a partial perspective. So if I say, what is truth? What would you say? You say spiritual reality. And spiritual reality is half of what we call truth. Truth is a two-sided coin. It is first, actually, the principles of the kingdom. Then on the other side, it is the experiences or the realities of the kingdom. How many of you have taken time to study the Gospels, trying to seek out the life of Jesus? When you look at the life of Jesus, you will find out that Jesus did not live by miracles. He rather did miracles. So there are two different things. A man can be wroughing miracles or working miracles, but he is not surviving by the miraculous. If you look at the life of Jesus, he lived by principles. And I want to announce to you, what we call the higher life is living by higher principles, not miraculous living. That's why you have a book. Did you hear what I said? There's a concept of the higher life. It is not living by miracles. If not, it will have meant that life in the wilderness was superior to life in the promised land. Because life in the wilderness was by miracles. Immediately they got to Gilgal and circumcision took place. What God advertised in circumcision was now you have all been inducted into the covenant. And covenant existence has principles. So the Bible said that the manna stopped. And God told them, from tomorrow, you will now start making bread from the corn of the land. That's the real life. The problem with living by miracles is that you will never become the solution that Jesus has raised you to be. Because what principles do is that they school you in the ways of God. You will be one of the children of Israel company. Life will be good. But you will never become a go-to person. And I've found out that the glories of the Christian life are built into being a go-to person. That when it scatters, it's your door that they knock. That's how you advertise the quality of life that you have. If our Christian life was just about miracles, why did God give us a manual? This manual is large. How many books? 66 books. And 66. And each of the manuals actually address a multifaceted set of subjects. That in Genesis alone, you can almost finish reading the whole Bible. In Genesis alone. And then you now go to Exodus, you go down that way. If the manual is this robust, do you think that manna in the sky is what this Bible is about? Look at the volume of instructions that are here. I mean things as foundational as having a prayer life is more of principles than activations. Okay, you think how people have robust prayer lives is receive it now and then you begin to pray for with all your life. No, we know that activations happen, but what you receive on a day of activation, you maintain by the principles that give it life. You can lay hands today and people get well. Tomorrow, they may stay sick or become worse. Because there are certain principles of sustaining the reality that you have not put in place. I can take you to Leviticus and I'll show you how voluminous the instructions God gave about priesthood. From diet to clothing to operation to consecrations, associations. Even the children of Israel, when they were going to enter the promised land, the details that God gave them were as basic as what to plant. You know, Jews, from scriptures, they don't do what you call miscropping. Like my daughter now, she's wearing 2 kinds of material. Jews don't dress like that. So she's Nigerian. Because even with dressing, God demarcated between his people and the hidden. It was that deep. When the pests are coming to eat up fields, there's a way a Jew's field looks like. The pests don't land there. I know you don't believe. God advertised to them that if pests land on your fields, I commanded them. If I command pestilence, it means the people are immune. The enemy will not glory in invading them. Every time the enemy comes successfully, it's because God took away a fence. So even their fields were kept. But you had to follow a principle to activate the keeping. Okay, let's use a more graphic example. There was an angel that was sent, an angel of destruction. That angel cannot advance you in the exam hall. That angel comes only to occasion death. And as a last line of dealing for the nation of Egypt, God sent that angel, but informed his people that the angel will come. The angel was not given recognitive abilities to know what a Jew or an Egyptian looked like. He was going to kill on a house-to-house basis. Are you with me? If you like, write "I am a Jew" on your t-shirt. When the angel comes, he checks your doorpost. Principle. And if there is no blood there, it will not be emotional. I don't know, but I suspect that some Jews died that night. If they reasoned out the instruction, because that marking of doorpost, that's why I said principle. The marking of doorpost was a prophetic type. If there is blood on this house, it means that death has already happened here. So let us not repeat death here. It was a prophetic type of the Christ. That if a man has died once, the only thing that he now experiences is life. If you ate lamb, why you know some people sleep on their table when they are eating. If you forgot to take the blood out, that's the last meal that you eat. Because the instruction was not if you kill a lamb, the blood must be there. If you journey a little bit further and then you come into the writings of the Leviticus, you also find out that that blood was supposed to be something that purged them. What God was visiting Egypt for was for oppression. That mark was littered across the land. If you put blood at your door, you find out that in the tabernacle, the Bible says almost everything is sprinkled by the blood, and it is for purification. So that house has no guilt on it because there's already blood on it. If you slept off, you will not wake up in the morning. Because everything that is first in that house will die. And it was not just firstborn men, it was firstborn. If the first baby that the goat gave birth to, even livestock lost their firstborn. So you will know that it was supernatural. There was an underlying principle. And if you missed the principle, the system will not be emotional with you. The fulfillment of the promises of God to his people are built on eternal principles. And what God has done is to domesticate those principles in the word, so that the gift of literacy is actually a gift of alignment. Because you can read, it means reading now helps you to be able to line up properly. It means that you will be guiltless if you still miss the fulfillment of the promises of God. Somebody say principles.
This is Burning Coals with Apostle Tolu Agboola.